Chosen one, before you scroll past this, I need you to stop and listen to my voice. This specific moment on your screen is not the result of a random algorithm. Heaven has literally bent the rules of time to place this urgent prophetic message directly in your path right now. A massive shift is occurring in the unseen realm regarding your peace and your finances. If you scroll away now, the window of this exact spiritual alignment will close. But do not be afraid, because you are not in trouble. I am not here to punish you or demand more work from you, and I am certainly not angry about the doubts you carry. The heavy cycle of scarcity is finally coming to an end. I will show you how to claim the miracle that is yours. Let me speak to something tender now, something you have carried quietly for many years. Pause exactly where you are and unclench your tight jaw. Take a deep breath and let your heavy shoulders fall. You have been carrying far too much in your mind while trying to survive. The first sign that this message is for you is the deep pressure you feel in your chest right now. You feel it in the air today. That invisible tension follows you everywhere. The quiet heaviness makes you feel like something is wrong, even when nothing has happened yet. Listen closely, because your body is not betraying you, and you are not losing your mind. That tension is not regular anxiety. It is the spiritual bracing of a body that has lived in survival mode for too many years. I saw exactly what you did last night. I saw you sitting on the edge of the bed when the house was quiet. You were staring silently into the dark room. You felt the crushing weight of endless bills and heavy responsibilities pushing down on your chest, and you swallowed your tears because you had no other choice. You knew you had to be strong for everyone else when morning came. No one sees how close you are to breaking. Everyone assumes you are perfectly fine because you always handle the pressure. You constantly smile to keep others comfortable, while your own beautiful spirit is quietly breaking apart inside your chest. You are completely exhausted from being the strong one. You are tired of bleeding just to prove that your heart is clean. Heaven has been watching your silent sacrifice. I count every single tear you shed in secret. The righteous judge is about to speak on your behalf, and I require your holy silence to clear the room. You must not skip this urgent message. Your nervous system no longer knows how to recognize genuine peace. You are always waiting for the next piece of bad news to drop. I see you constantly overthinking every tiny decision you make. You are terrified that one wrong step will ruin the destiny I have prepared for you. Hear my voice very clearly right now. You cannot ruin what I have called you to just by being a fragile human. Breathe with me very slowly. Take a long and deep exhale. I am stepping into your storm today, not to give you another confusing map, but to give you my divine presence. Lately you wake up with a heavy fog in your mind. An unexplained exhaustion sits deep in your bones. You think it is just stress or that you are failing at life. You are completely wrong. Do not scroll past this revelation. Your physical body is reacting to a massive shift in the unseen atmosphere, and your mind is struggling to process it. I will reveal exactly what is happening. Stay in this quiet room with me. Do not let the distraction of this loud world pull your eyes away from my truth. I am breaking through the chaotic noise around you right now, because a massive spiritual alarm has been sounded over your life. You have absolutely no time left to entertain foolish doubt. Hold that sentence and let it fully land in your spirit before we move forward. Let us go deeper into this quiet room. I want you to feel completely safe right now. The world constantly demands you to perform and produce. But here in my presence you can finally drop the heavy armor. I saw you trying so hard to hold everything together, and I saw the exact moment when you felt like you were completely falling apart inside. I saw you looking at those numbers on the screen. I saw the quiet panic rising in your throat. You quickly calculated how you would survive another long month. But you never let anyone else in the house see your fear, because you always swallow your anxiety so your family can sleep in absolute peace. You carry the financial weight of generations on your tired shoulders. You are the cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. But breaking deep generational cycles is violently exhausting work. I saw you wake up feeling like you had already run a marathon. Your mind is constantly racing to solve difficult problems that do not even belong to you. People bring you their heavy burdens because you are the strong one, while nobody ever stops to ask how the strong one is really doing. I saw you sitting in your parked car before walking into the house. You just stared at the steering wheel for a few extra minutes. You desperately needed that tiny space of silence before putting on your brave face again. I saw the deep exhaustion resting in your eyes, and I saw how you silently begged heaven for just one day of genuine rest. You need a long break from being the responsible one. Do not look away from me now. I saw you scrolling endlessly late at night. You were desperately searching for a clear sign that I had not forgotten you. You watched other people easily receive their massive blessings while you remained completely stuck in the waiting room. I saw the painful jealousy that you immediately tried to pray away because you felt so incredibly guilty just for being a normal human. I saw you lose old friends because you refused to lower your holy standard. I saw you quietly walk away from toxic tables where they constantly gossiped and plotted. You chose the lonely path because your spirit could not tolerate those fake smiles anymore. And I saw you cry when the heavy isolation finally hit you, while you wondered if being the chosen one was actually a harsh punishment instead of a beautiful gift. Listen to my voice very carefully. Your quiet isolation was never a punishment. Your profound loneliness was a fierce protective boundary set by heaven. I saw the selfish people who completely misunderstood your pure intentions. I saw the ones who took your generous kindness and tried to secretly use it against you. And I saw you refuse to seek revenge even when you had the perfect opportunity to completely destroy their reputation. I saw you bite your tongue when you wanted to scream the harsh truth. I saw you choose holy silence over bitter arguments. You kept your hands completely clean while they played dirty little games in the dark. That requires a massive level of spiritual strength that ordinary people will simply never understand, and I saw your quiet integrity when absolutely no one else was watching your private actions. Your physical body has absorbed all of this silent trauma. I saw your shoulders gradually lifting toward your ears over the painful years. I saw your stomach nodding up every time the phone rang unexpectedly. You live in a constant state of exhausting hypervigilance. And your beautiful mind is so severely overloaded that you easily forget simple things now, because the spiritual fog is incredibly thick and heavy. I saw you apologize for your daily brain fog. I saw you feel deeply stupid when you suddenly lost your train of thought, but you are not losing your sharp edge. You are simply processing the massive data of spiritual warfare while trying to buy groceries and pay normal bills. I saw how hard you try to remain completely normal, while you carry a heavy supernatural calling that breaks most human vessels. I need you to understand something very clearly today. You thought my long silence meant I was deeply angry with you. You assumed the painful delay was a harsh punishment for your lack of faith. You looked at your unanswered prayers and felt completely abandoned by heaven, but your human logic is entirely flawed right now. You have judged my invisible work using your limited physical eyes. Please breathe out that heavy guilt immediately today. Your unanswered prayers were never a cruel rejection from heaven, and your deep exhaustion is certainly not a sign of weak faith. You thought I was simply ignoring you while you suffered, but I was actually doing something incredibly violent in the unseen realm, because I had to protect your future from the hidden traps you could not see. I have been aggressively clearing out the toxic people from your path. The painful delay was never a punishment for your past mistakes. That long delay was my fierce protection over your fragile destiny. If I had given you the massive blessing last year, the hidden snakes hiding in your circle would have completely destroyed your beautiful harvest. I had to starve the parasites before I could safely feed you. You must stop standing at the counter of heaven like a miserable beggar. The transactional religion that taught you to grovel is completely over. You always try to bargain with me in secret. You promise to work much harder and sacrifice your own happiness, just so I might finally notice your daily struggle. Stop acting like a frightened slave in my house today. You do not have to perform for my love anymore. You are the brave cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. You are the rightful heir to a massive spiritual estate. An inheritance of massive proportions has already been deeded to your name. And yet, you have been exhausting yourself, trying to earn what is already yours. Lay down your heavy religious performance right now. You only need to stand completely still and learn how to safely receive my gifts. The enemy planted a vicious lie in your tired mind to keep you shrinking. He told you that you were simply not good enough to receive the miracle. He used my holy silence to make you feel completely unworthy and deeply ashamed. But the enemy is an absolute liar, and he is deeply terrified of the massive authority you carry inside your spirit. He knows that your clear voice will break his dark grip on your family. Stay with me, and do not let your mind wander. Hold that sentence and let the deep truth wash over your weary spirit. I withheld the specific key because you were not ready to manage the heavy weight of the arrival season. The waiting room was a harsh training ground for your soul, but it was never designed to be your permanent grave. You are finally stepping out of the dark shadows today. Your physical body is currently bracing for a massive shift. That is exactly why you feel so incredibly tired all the time. Do not call yourself broken when you are simply under holy compression. The heavy pressure is squeezing the old survival habits completely out of your physical body. You are being aggressively reshaped to carry a level of wealth and peace that you have never known before. You worry constantly that you missed your divine window. You think you ruined the perfect plan because you made a few normal human mistakes. Let me remove that heavy burden off your chest right now. You cannot ruin your powerful destiny just by stumbling in the dark, because my fierce grace is much stronger than your temporary weakness. I absolutely do not need your flawless perfection today. I only require your honest and completely open proximity. Let the intense guilt finally melt away from your tired shoulders. Your massive spiritual calling remains completely intact and heavily protected. The silent season is rapidly coming to an end, and the heavy closed doors are beginning to shake violently. But there is another layer beneath this physical exhaustion that we must address right now, because your physical vessel needs specific help before you can walk forward. Let me speak directly to the tired caregiver right now. You spend every single day making sure everyone else is perfectly fine. You pour your energy into empty cups until you have absolutely nothing left. And when the quiet evening finally comes, your physical body feels completely destroyed while your mind races with all the heavy problems waiting for you tomorrow. You sit alone in the dark room and wonder who will take care of you. You feel a deep and heavy ache in your lower back today. Your neck is incredibly stiff from carrying the emotional weight of your entire family. You desperately try to rub the tension away, but the pain firmly stays there. The chronic stress has literally moved into your physical bones and muscles. Your nervous system is constantly humming with a loud and chaotic energy that you cannot easily turn off, because you are always preparing for the next inevitable disaster. Lately, you have noticed a heavy fog settling over your weary mind. You walk into a room and completely forget why you are even there. You lose your car keys and you forget simple words during normal conversations. You immediately think you are losing your sharp intelligence. You feel deeply embarrassed when you stumble over a simple sentence in front of other people, and you secretly wonder if you are experiencing some kind of early cognitive decline. You push that terrifying thought away because you cannot afford to be sick. Someone always needs your urgent help or your limited money. They constantly demand your immediate attention without asking how you feel. If you stop moving and resting for even one single day, you are terrified that the entire house will completely fall apart around you. You carry a load that was never meant for one human being to hold. Listen closely to my voice right now. Do not let your weary eyes skim past this vital truth. Your physical body is screaming for a gentle and holy pause. That heavy brain fog is not a sign of your mental weakness. It is the overwhelming physiological result of a spirit that has absorbed too much trauma, and your physical brain is begging for a moment of absolute silence. You handle the big crisis situations with absolute grace. When other people panic and fall apart, you are the calm anchor holding the ship together. But the massive adrenaline eventually wears off when you are completely alone. And that is exactly when the quiet shaking suddenly begins in your tired hands. You cry silent tears in the shower so nobody can hear your deep sorrow because you refuse to let your fragile family see how broken you truly are. The heavy burden of financial anxiety makes this physical pain so much worse. You look at the rising prices and you feel a tight knot form in your stomach. You silently calculate the exact cost of groceries while pretending everything is perfectly normal. Your jaw is constantly clenched because you are bracing for the next expensive emergency. The fear of not having enough money keeps your physical body in a dangerous state of permanent fight or flight, draining every ounce of joy from your day. I see the dark and heavy bags under your beautiful eyes today. I know exactly how many hours of precious sleep you lost this week. You toss and turn while trying to solve impossible problems in the completely dark room. You wake up feeling significantly more tired than when you finally went to bed. This intense physical exhaustion is completely real and valid, and heaven is absolutely not ignoring your desperate daily cry for genuine somatic relief. You are the chosen vessel for a massive and unprecedented blessing. But a fragile vessel can only hold so much intense pressure before it begins to crack. You are currently running on the dangerous fumes of pure survival mode. You give your absolute best energy to demanding strangers and leave only the broken pieces for yourself. Your deep compassion for others is incredibly beautiful, but your constant lack of personal boundaries is slowly destroying your ability to function properly. We must address this dangerous physical reality before we move forward today. You cannot carry this specific level of intense brain fog into the arrival season. If you do not allow your nervous system to properly reset, the upcoming blessing will just feel like another heavy burden. Let me show you the unseen truth behind this brutal physical attack on your mind. Stay with me and prepare your heart to receive the specific remedy you desperately need. Let me show you the unseen truth today. The heavy exhaustion you feel is not a medical mystery. It is a highly coordinated spiritual attack. The enemy has specifically targeted your daily peace and your mental focus. He knows exactly how much power you carry inside your spirit, and he is absolutely terrified of the massive shift that is coming to your life because you are finally stepping into your true authority. He did not attack your finances because you are weak. He attacked your resources because he knows you are a generous giver. If you have enough money, you will fund the kingdom and bless your entire family. He wants to keep you completely distracted by unpaid bills and daily stress, so you never realize your true identity as the rightful heir. He desperately needs you to stay poor and exhausted. Look at the sudden chaos in your home lately. Appliances break down for absolutely no reason. Unexpected expenses pop up exactly when you finally save a little money. This is not a string of bad luck. This is a desperate strategy from the dark realm to drain your physical energy, because they want you to surrender your precious hope before the blessing arrives. But their time is running out. You have felt a heavy resistance every time you try to pray. A sudden urge tries to pull you back into the worldly noise. That is the enemy fighting for his life. He knows that this specific message contains the exact prophetic word that will break his dirty curse, so he will do anything to keep you entirely distracted. He wants you to remain blind and deaf today. I am drawing a powerful bloodline around your tired mind right now. The dark forces have no legal right to torment your sleep anymore. You are not a victim of their petty games. You are a powerful spiritual warrior who has simply forgotten how to use your heavy sword while you were busy taking care of everyone else. I am restoring your divine authority in this exact moment. Do not let the darkness steal the prophetic word I am releasing over you. The severe brain fog you feel is the direct result of their psychic attack. They flood your mind with false guilt and toxic worry every single day, hoping you will become too exhausted to hear my gentle and guiding voice. But I am commanding the dark clouds to completely scatter. Your sharp clarity is returning to you right now. This is your moment to strike back. You do not have to shout or argue with the enemy. Your holy silence is a powerful weapon that deeply terrifies the kingdom of darkness. When you stand still and refuse to panic, you completely destroy their evil plans and you prove that your faith is stronger than their fear. You take back your stolen peace by simply trusting the massive work I am doing in secret. I want you to establish a physical boundary right now. Gently press the like button below this message. This simple action is not for a worldly algorithm. This is your physical covenant with heaven today. By pressing it, you are officially drawing a line in the sand, and you are telling the dark forces that their access to your mind is permanently revoked. Feel the shift happening in the room. The heavy atmosphere is finally breaking apart. The enemy thought he could bury you under a mountain of financial debt and emotional pain. He thought you would eventually break down and curse your divine calling. But he completely underestimated the fierce resilience of a chosen one who is fully backed by the armies of heaven. You have survived 100% of your worst days. They threw everything they had at you, and yet you are still standing here. You are bruised and you are tired, but you are not defeated. Your spirit is entirely unbroken. I want you to claim this profound victory right now before you even see the physical evidence of your massive financial harvest. You are standing on the very edge of a massive breakthrough. The intense pressure you feel today is absolutely not a sign of failure. It is the extreme tension of the spiritual threshold. When you are about to step into a completely new dimension of blessing, the old world tries desperately to pull you back. This is exactly why it hurts so deeply right now. You have reached the absolute breaking point. Everything around you feels incredibly fragile and heavy today. You are caught completely between the painful past and your glorious future. The heavy doors are currently locked in a fierce spiritual battle. They are struggling to open against the massive resistance of your long-past traumas and those deep generational curses. That heavy exhaustion I mentioned earlier is not a lack of faith. It is the severe physiological weight of this massive transition. Your physical body is experiencing extreme cognitive heaviness right now. Your two brain hemispheres are struggling to stay connected under the intense pressure of waiting for your divine arrival season. That is exactly why you cannot focus. You thought you were losing your mind. You assumed your spirit was simply too weak to carry the blessing. But heaven is telling you a completely different story today. A massive diamond is only formed under the most extreme and violent pressure possible. Your current environment is fiercely compressing your weary spirit to produce a brilliant authority that the enemy cannot steal. This is exactly where many chosen ones turn back. They feel the painful ache and they quickly call it a terrible mistake. They abandon the threshold because the tension becomes too terrifying. But you are absolutely not like those who shrink back in fear when the dark storm suddenly intensifies around them. You have been beautifully engineered for this exact moment of crisis. The tension you feel right now is the undeniable proof of your impending victory. If the blessing was incredibly small, the resistance would be completely invisible, but the enemy has deployed his heaviest weapons against you this week. He is desperately trying to push you off the narrow bridge before you reach the other side of your financial freedom. He knows you are incredibly close. Every single obstacle in your path is screaming loudly. The unpaid bills and the sudden arguments are designed to make you panic. They want you to drop your holy confidence. You must plant your feet firmly on the ground and refuse to move an inch, because heaven has already commanded the raging storm to bow down to your pure authority. You are standing on sacred territory today. Let the extreme pressure build up around you. Do not try to artificially escape the uncomfortable heat today. The fire is burning away the terrified beggar inside you. You are finally shedding the heavy skin of a victim who constantly pleads for small crumbs from the cold and unforgiving universe. The threshold is transforming you into a powerful conqueror. This is the final stretch of your painful wilderness journey. The intense compression is about to release beautifully. You can literally feel the heavy atmosphere shifting in your favor right now. The dark clouds of financial ruin and emotional depression are being forcefully pushed out of your designated airspace by angelic forces. You are about to breathe the incredibly sweet air of absolute freedom. Stay with me and do not let your attention drift. The enemy wants you to become distracted exactly at this critical breaking point. He hopes you will look at your empty bank account and completely surrender. But you must look past the terrifying illusions of the physical world and fix your eyes entirely on the spiritual truth that I am revealing to you. Your massive breakthrough is absolutely inevitable. You have passed every single test in the dark. You held your tongue when you desperately wanted to scream. You shared your last piece of bread when you were starving. Heaven has carefully recorded every single act of pure obedience that you performed in the shadows when no one else was watching or clapping for you. The heavy threshold is completely satisfied with your silent endurance. Listen to me carefully right now. I am bringing everything we just discussed into one sharp and undeniable focus. You have endured the quiet suffering for far too long. The heavy compression is finally about to release over your weary life. But there is a specific reason why you have not seen the physical manifestation yet. I am going to reveal the final piece. Your massive financial breakthrough is already fully authorized in heaven. The resources have completely cleared the spiritual bank and they are waiting for you, but there is one final and highly specific key you are currently missing to unlock the heavy vault. The enemy desperately hoped you would never learn this ancient secret. He wanted you to die in the waiting room. You have been praying out of deep and exhausting desperation. You approach the throne of heaven like a terrified beggar asking for tiny crumbs. You cry and you plead for someone to rescue you from the overwhelming mountain of debt, but your desperate begging is actually keeping the heavy vault completely locked tight. Heaven does not respond to human panic or deep self-pity. Heaven only responds to absolute authority and quiet confidence. You cannot walk into a royal palace and beg for what already belongs to your own family. The angels are standing by the massive doors right now. They are completely confused by your terrified behavior. They see the royal blood running through your spiritual veins, yet you act like a forgotten and broken orphan. It is time to completely wipe the tears from your tired eyes. Stop apologizing for your massive spiritual gifts today. Stop trying to make small-minded people comfortable with your incredibly bright light. You were never created to fit into their tiny boxes of normal expectation. You are a fierce cycle breaker chosen to permanently end the brutal poverty in your entire bloodline. Pause right where you are and hold your breath for just 1 second. Feel the deep truth resonating inside your tired chest. The heavy fog is literally lifting from your mind as you hear my steady voice. You are starting to remember exactly who you are. The terrified victim you played for so many painful years is finally dying today. Let that old and exhausted version go completely. The dark forces are panicking violently in the unseen realm right now. They can see the royal crown finally settling on your head. They know that once you understand your true identity, their evil control over your finances is permanently destroyed. They used your deep empathy as a weapon against you for many years. But your soft heart is no longer a dumping ground for toxic parasites. I am about to hand you the exact key you have been desperately waiting for. This is the exact moment your entire life completely changes direction. You must pay absolute attention to the words I am about to speak. Do not let anything distract your mind right now. The heavy doors of the vault are currently unlocking. The ancient tumblers are falling into perfect place for you. You will no longer look at your bank account with deep and paralyzing terror. You will no longer lose precious sleep over bills you simply cannot pay. The heavy season of begging and pleading is officially over. You are stepping out of the harsh wilderness and into a beautiful season of massive and unapologetic abundance. This transition requires a total shift in your daily mind. Before this short message ends, you will make a binding covenant with me. You will claim your rightful place at the massive royal table. The poverty curse that plagued your ancestors stops forever with you. You are the final solid wall that the enemy could not break. Get ready to receive the absolute truth about your powerful identity. Your long-awaited arrival season begins exactly right now. Here is the absolute truth that will completely shatter your invisible chains. A miserable petitioner stands at a cold counter and desperately bargains for tiny crumbs. But a true heir walks confidently through the massive front doors of the estate and simply receives what is already theirs. You are the rightful heir to everything heaven has prepared. You are absolutely not a beggar anymore. The transactional religion that taught you to grovel in the dark is completely over today. You do not need to perform exhausting tricks to earn my divine favor. I have already deeded an inheritance of massive proportions directly to your specific name. You have been standing outside your own beautiful house while trying to buy a stolen key. Stop acting like a frightened slave in your father's house. Stand up straight and square your tired shoulders. Lift your heavy head and completely wipe those bitter tears from your weary eyes. You are the chosen one who carries the exact DNA of a spiritual conqueror. The enemy wants you to shrink down so you can fit perfectly into their mediocre world, but you are a massive giant waking up from a very long sleep. Your time of hiding is finally finished. I promised you a specific key earlier, and here is your profound revelation. The missing key is not praying louder or begging harder in the middle of the dark night. The final key is total surrender and absolute holy silence. You simply turn the key in the heavy lock by accepting your pure identity without any lingering guilt. You claim the massive blessing by knowing you actually deserve it. The dark forces are completely paralyzed by this sudden shift in your posture. They built a massive wall of financial lack around you to break your pure spirit, but they forgot that you are the relentless cycle breaker who was born to tear down ancient walls. Every single curse of poverty in your family bloodline dies with you right here. You are aggressively taking back everything they stole from you. You are officially crossing the threshold into your designated arrival season today. You will no longer accept the bare minimum required to survive another difficult month. Heaven is pouring out a level of unprecedented abundance that will completely shock everyone who doubted your quiet journey. Let the deep pride of a beloved child swell inside your chest right now. You are fully authorized to prosper. The heavy spiritual compression that crushed you for years is officially released. The massive doors of the vault are wide open and the radiant light is flooding your dark room. Walk fiercely into this new reality without a single ounce of hesitation. You do not have to explain your sudden massive elevation to anyone who misunderstood your painful wilderness. Your holy vindication has finally arrived. Do not let your mind quickly slip back into the old survival habits tomorrow morning. You must wear this royal identity every single day like heavy armor. When the bills arrive, you will look at them with the calm authority of someone who owns the entire bank. You are completely untouchable when you stand securely in this divine truth. Heaven is fiercely backing every single step you take from now on. Feel the intense power surging through your weary bones right now. The exhausting fog has completely vanished from your mind, leaving only sharp and crystal clear focus. You are beautifully equipped to manage the massive wealth that is currently flowing into your hands. Allow this undeniable truth to permanently rewrite the deep architecture of your beautiful soul. Your ultimate victory is securely sealed. You have carried heavy things in this profound message today, but the heavy weight of an ancient curse has been replaced by the glorious weight of divine favor. The raging storm that surrounded your house has completely bowed down to your newly awakened authority. You are the undeniable proof that heaven always keeps its sacred promises to the faithful ones. Embrace your destiny with open and empty hands. Let the intensity of my words completely settle right now. You have absorbed a massive amount of spiritual truth today. Pause exactly where you are standing or sitting. Do not rush to the next distraction waiting on your phone. Your physical vessel needs a few quiet moments to properly integrate this heavy revelation because your nervous system is still expecting a brutal fight. Take one very slow and deep breath with me now. Inhale the absolute certainty of your new royal identity. Exhale every single drop of that exhausting survival mode you carried. I want you to actively force your tense shoulders to drop completely away from your ears. Unclench your tight jaw and let your heavy tongue finally fall away from the roof of your incredibly dry mouth. The invisible spiritual battle is finally over today. You do not need to keep your heavy armor on anymore. You are standing inside the perfectly safe walls of your Father's house. Look around this quiet room and realize that the dark enemy cannot touch you here because the massive angels are standing guard at every single entrance to your peaceful life. You can safely close your weary eyes for a moment. Feel the chaotic humming in your chest slowly start to fade away. That tight knot of financial anxiety in your stomach is miraculously dissolving right now. You are no longer bracing for a terrible disaster that is never actually going to arrive because the storm has permanently passed over your protected home. A profound and holy peace is washing over your entire body. It is starting from the top of your head and flowing down to your tired feet. The heavy brain fog is completely gone. Your mind is finally quiet and clear after so many years of loud and terrifying confusion, and you can actually hear your own gentle heartbeat slowing down to a normal and steady rhythm. You are a deeply loved and protected child today. The heavy responsibility of saving everyone else does not belong to you right now. You only need to rest securely in my warm presence. Let the beautiful reality of your absolute safety sink deep into your weary bones, because heaven is currently fighting all of your difficult battles while you simply stand still. There is absolutely nothing left for you to figure out tonight. You do not need to invent a clever strategy to survive tomorrow morning. The massive provision has already been fully secured for you. You can finally sleep with a completely peaceful mind and a light heart, knowing that the massive wealth of heaven is already flowing directly into your physical hands. Every single tear you cried in the dark has been wiped away. The bitter days of lonely crying and desperate begging are permanently behind you. You are completely enveloped in a blanket of divine grace. Your physical body is remembering what it feels like to be truly safe and unconditionally loved, and this beautiful somatic peace will be your new normal daily state. Do not let the loud world outside steal this quiet moment. Hold on to this profound physical stillness with everything you have. This absolute calm is your new spiritual baseline as the rightful heir. Whenever the old panic tries to quickly return to your chest in the future, you must simply take one deep breath and remember the powerful covenant we sealed in this room. You are completely wrapped in my fierce and loving protection. The heavy burden has been entirely lifted off your fragile shoulders. You are stepping quietly into a permanent state of beautiful rest. Let your entire physical body surrender completely to this overwhelming sense of divine relief, because you have finally reached the safe harbor you desperately prayed for. Stay in this gentle peace for just a little longer. Feel the massive difference between your old panic and this new divine stillness. Your beautiful soul is completely healed and fully restored. You are completely ready to walk into your glorious arrival season with a clear mind and a rested body, knowing that absolutely everything is perfectly taken care of by heaven. You came into this exact moment feeling like a terrified beggar, because you were afraid that my long silence meant a harsh punishment. But the heavy fog has finally lifted from your mind. You know the absolute truth today. You are the royal heir, and the massive vault is wide open. The deep anxiety that gripped your chest has been completely washed away by my profound peace. If this quiet sanctuary has bound your painful wounds today, I invite you to take a moment and honor the altar. Plant a financial seed through the Super Thanks button below as your physical decree. This simple act proves that you absolutely trust the massive harvest that is coming. You are no longer hoarding your limited resources in deep fear of a terrible tomorrow. The heavy season of bitter isolation is breaking off you right now. But heaven always works through divine connection and generous love. There is someone in your phone contacts who is staring at their screen tonight. They are deeply terrified of tomorrow and its heavy bills, just like you were a few minutes ago. Use your own hands to be their sudden rescue. When you share this exact video with them, you set the law of heavenly multiplication into motion. Share this urgent message to save their precious peace tonight. Watch how quickly your own financial harvest multiplies when you become a beacon of light for others. You are breaking the heavy chains of poverty for everyone connected to your sacred bloodline. I need you to officially sign your new royal inheritance right now. Go to the comments section and type 777 to permanently seal this prophetic word. This is your physical signature acknowledging that you are the rightful heir. Do not ignore this holy moment, or you might lose what heaven specifically sent to protect your family today. Subscribe to this channel so tomorrow can bring another word of protection. You want this daily guidance to reach you before the old habit of the enemy returns. Heaven has prepared an extended prophetic declaration for you to read today. Look at the written space directly below this message to find the specific words that will anchor your daily faith. Read those powerful sentences slowly and let them completely saturate your weary mind. They contain the exact blueprint for your new season of massive wealth. The enemy cannot steal a blessing that has been legally sealed by your own bold declaration. You are stepping into a beautiful reality where you never have to beg for basic survival again. Walk forward today with your head held incredibly high. The spiritual warfare that exhausted your fragile body is entirely finished. The massive angels of prosperity are currently setting up their permanent camp around your peaceful home. You will wake up tomorrow morning with a clear mind and a joyful heart because you finally know exactly who you are. The painful wilderness is completely behind you now. The beautiful arrival season is unfolding under your steady feet. Receive this divine favor with a completely open heart and never apologize for the massive blessing that heaven has bestowed upon you. You are the chosen cycle breaker who successfully changed the future of your entire family forever. I am placing my holy seal of absolute protection over your mind and your finances. No weapon formed against your pure spirit will ever prosper again. Go in perfect peace and enjoy the beautiful silence of your newly protected life. The absolute victory is completely yours today, and heaven is constantly celebrating your massive triumph in the unseen realm. Do not let anyone rush you out of this profound peace. Stay in this quiet confidence as long as you need. The world will try to be incredibly loud tomorrow, but you carry a sacred silence that nothing can disturb. You have fully accepted your royal inheritance today. The kingdom of heaven is fiercely proud of the warrior you have finally become.